Hey guys, you might still suck at R6, but it's okay because I love you just the way you are. Just kidding, I only love R6 champions. But you know what I actually love? My Raycon everyday earbuds. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Raycon is the paid partner of today's video, and what better time to talk about them than in the season of love. Raycon's everyday earbuds are your perfect partner for gym, work, phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. Their latest model is the best one yet, with 32 hours of battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair two devices at the same time. Plus, Raycon starts at just half the price of other premium audio brands. I also just love the active noise cancellation that they have. Can't even hear you. I travel a lot, and during my flights, I just pop these bad boys in, turn the active noise cancellation on, and chill out to some YouTube videos. Poof, my stressful travel experience has turned into pure bliss. I find these a lot more comfortable than my old earbuds too, which would fall out when I'm wearing them, which is pretty annoying. I obviously don't have this problem with the Raycon everyday earbuds, so it's a big upgrade for me personally. And if you don't fall in love with your Raycons, they've got a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy with no questions asked. They even have these protective cases for the earbuds, which come in a ton of cool designs. This rocky marble looking one looks so good with the black earbuds. Just look at that. Wow. Wow. Obviously, they look really good, but they also support wireless charging, so I don't even need to take this protective case off to get 90 minutes of battery life in just 10 minutes of charging. I love going on walks as a break between working on videos, which for me is the perfect time to put on some music and relax. Or when the snow is too deep, I can hop on my exercise bike and pop in the Raycons to get inspired by my favorite audiobooks. Wherever I go, the Raycons are going with me. So guys, go check out the Raycon website by going to buyraycon.com/Poxonlox to get up to 20% off site-wide. Yes, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off headphones as well when you go to buyraycon.com/Poxonlox. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into some epic tips. Today we're going over the 10 best R6 tips to get really good as fast as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, we all want to be better at the game, so why not get better faster? If you're a newer player, this first tip is going to help you the most. It's learn the maps as fast as possible. I'm not gonna be some basic YouTuber here and be like, oh yeah, just learn the maps, because obviously it's a little bit more complicated than that. However, you can learn the maps a lot quicker by playing soft breaching operators like Buck and Ash. Using Buck's ability to open up walls, open up floors, open up ceilings allows you to learn what leads to where and how you can maneuver the map in different ways. You can do this even better by going into a custom game to explore each individual map. I would recommend doing the ones in the rank pool, starting with the most popular and then making your way down to the less popular maps. Another great way to learn the maps quicker is by watching Pro League to see the vast amount of vertical and horizontal angles that these players use. Pro players are the best at the game for a reason, and they have so many good angles that they open up around the map, and I'd recommend just understanding why they actually do these things. Tip number 2 is going to be learn the operators fast. Like the maps, the operators are a very important part of this game, and understanding how every single one works and what their weaknesses are is going to be really important. Unfortunately, there's not really a trick for this. The quickest way to learn the ops is really just by playing the game. However, there are things that you want to avoid doing in order to learn the operators faster. The first one is not to have a main operator, but instead learn the operators of different roles so that you have different options and approaches to your game. If you only play one main operator, you're not going to learn how the rest work. Yes, you might get good at one, but you're not able to adapt to the other team and their playstyle. So instead, you want to explore the different gadgets, the different operators, and the uses for each and every one. Looking up guides on YouTube for each operator for a base understanding of how they work is a great way to learn these operators as well. Once you kind of understand how this operator works, don't stay too long playing this operator. Move on to the next, learn them all. Trust me, it's a very, very important piece to getting good at the game. By avoiding having a main operator, like I was mentioning earlier, you can counter the other team more effectively, which is our third tip: counter the other team. Direct operator counters like bringing Warden if they keep using smokes and flashes, or using IQ when you see a Valkyrie or Echo picked by the defenders, is a great way to get the advantage on the other team. There's a ton of different counter operator picks, which is a big reason why knowing as many of the operators as you can is super important. However, you also have playstyle countering, which is bringing more traps and ratting around if they aren't droning or they're playing very aggressive. Or you're playing to stop the plant from below if they spend a lot of their time baiting and not actually getting control of the map. Countering how the other team plays while adapting to how your team plays is the best way to be successful and probably the most important skill to develop in this game. So learn to counter the other team and you'll have a much easier time winning. Tip number 4 is to coordinate with your teammates. And I know what you're thinking, what if I get horrible teammates? I always get bad teammates. Shut up. Shut up. Tip number 5 is shut up. Just kidding. So here's the thing about bad teammates. Even with terrible teammates that don't even use their microphone or communicate whatsoever, you can still coordinate with them. Let me explain. The first thing you can do is you can literally bait them. Follow them around the map and be there to trade them if they get killed. So if they're getting into a gunfight, you're also there to shoot the enemy player at the same time. You might be thinking, well, baiting is bad. I don't want to bait my teammates. They're going to get mad. But it's actually a super effective strategy in Rainbow Six because it not only gets you that kill back and makes it even, but it also gives you the control of the area that your teammate was pushing. And this is a very control-based game, so it's going to be very, very important that you're able to do that. So if you have bad teammates, bait them, and at least you're getting a kill back for their life. The only thing you need to keep in mind when doing this is not to line directly up with them because you don't want the defender to get a collateral onto you. You want to spread out horizontally so that way they have to look at multiple angles at the same time. If that doesn't work or you're like a weaker player, then what you can also do is just bring operators that help your teammates succeed. At the end of the day, 1v5ing every round is basically impossible. So if your entire team's getting murked off the start of the game, you can't really do much to win, even if you're a great player compared to like average or bad players on the other team. But if you can help your teammates do better, you have a better chance of winning. Everything's going to be easier if your teammates can get a few kills and then you only have to clutch like a 1v2 or a 1v3 compared to a 1v5 every round. The other way to deal with this is to copy the playstyle of your team and learn to read your own teammates. So that way you can be more unified and play together better. If you get a team of a bunch of people playing really passively and baiting, try to play that way too. That way when they finally do push the bomb site, you can push at the same time and have a higher chance of winning the round. And if they're highly aggressive, get in with them, be aggressive with them, use abilities that can be comboed with an aggressive playstyle, so again, you have a higher chance of winning. Understanding how your own team plays is just as hard as countering the other team, so you almost want to be reading your own team while countering the other team at the same time, which isn't an easy task, but you'll get better at it as you practice. Tip number 5 sounds kind of insane at first, but I think it's actually very effective, and that is don't play support unless you know your teammates are better than you. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't play hard breacher or that you should never drone, but rather not to rely on your teammates' support in order to do what you're looking to achieve in a round. If you want to open up a main breach, but you have to rely on your teammates to destroy the wall denial from below, then it's going to be a bad strategy because if your teammates aren't able to do that, you're not able to do your job. Your teammates are going to be very inconsistent amongst your ranked journey, and most people are stuck in their rank for a reason. So instead of relying on them to be smart and play the game properly, just rely on yourself to be able to make those plays individually. So instead of bringing a thermite for that wall, maybe you bring a Mav to add pressure and you rotate around the map and do your own thing. You never want to be stuck in a position where you're completely relying on your teammates in order to do your job because, again, teammates are just so inconsistent. So what I mean when I say don't play support is just don't rely on your teammates to do the big important jobs within the round, like get rid of wall denial, get the entry pick, or make the play. You want to be relying on yourself and improving on those skills yourself so that you're able to carry your team to victory with big plays. And that leads into our next tip, which is don't do what your teammates do. If you're stuck in silver and you see your teammate make a big play by running up a staircase and killing their whole team, the chances are that play was pretty bad and it just happened to work that round. If you're playing with other silver players in that rank, they are also stuck in that rank, so the chances are even the good plays that they make are still bad. So instead of copying these strategies, which are clearly keeping this other player in silver, learn better strategies that will work against better players. I see a lot of this when I do these spectating nightmare match reviews. people just do these strategies that happen to work. You know, they walk into an area that they really shouldn't survive in, and then it ends up winning the round by them killing multiple people. It's just another way that players stay inconsistent. So don't copy what your teammates are doing, and don't do the terrible strategies that your teammates have. Instead, try to look back on your own gameplay and learn the fundamentals of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Just because you win a round doesn't mean you did something good. It just means you happened to win. Tip number 7 is another simple one. It's just play ranked. If you're not level 50 and you're unable to play ranked, then just play standard, because the most competitive game modes is where you're gonna learn. Playing in quick match all the time, you're going to play people who aren't trying, doing dumb stuff, and you're going to learn bad habits. But by playing ranked or standard, which are both skill-based matchmaking playlists, you're going to play other players who are within your skill level. This means some of your matches are going to be a little more difficult because you're playing people who are slightly higher skilled than you, and you're actually going to improve at the game. So play as much rank as you can, and don't actually worry about your rank, just focus on improving. Tip number 8 is watch your games back. Rainbow Six has this amazing feature called Match Replay, where you can literally watch every single round from every single player perspective, or even from a bird's eye view. This tip is the most important for improving fast. If you want to get really good at the game really fast, then you have to watch your games back. The more that you can watch back, the quicker you're going to improve. If you can watch every single game back after each game, or you play 3 games and watch 1 back each day, this is how you're going to get better. Watch the rounds you win and watch the rounds you lose, and ask yourself questions along the way. Why am I doing this? What am I achieving here? Am I helping my team right now? You want to make sure you're constantly helping your team throughout the round and progressing as the round goes forward. If you find that you're just sitting on the roof half the time, that's a serious issue that you need to fix. I promise you, this is a way to find glaring issues in your gameplay and just removing them altogether for major increases in your rank. Which leads us to our next tip, number 9. It's not your aim. Seriously. I made a YouTube short about this a little while back, basically just saying that your aim is not the thing that's stopping you from ranking up. And everyone was like, no, you haven't seen my aim, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, I see these match reviews submitted in my Discord. Every single one of them blames their aim for not being good at the game. And 98% of them all have good aim. Well, good enough that they should be in a higher rank at least. So instead of constantly being focused on your aim being the issue, try to look at these bigger picture things, which again helps by watching your games back, like the previous tip. By constantly thinking about your aim and even working super hard to improve on it, you're going to be avoiding these major flaws that are stopping you from winning. So stop focusing on your aim and start thinking about the other elements of the game that you could be improving on. This leads us to our very final tip, which is to stop being hard stuck. The majority of R6 players are hard stuck in their rank. They've been gold for seasons, or they barely progress as the seasons go on, and most of that is due to just rank 2.0 wanting them to boost their rank to get this false sense of actually getting better. But the truth is, most players are just not getting better. And why is that? Well, they're too focused on the micro. Just like your aim, if you're too micro focused on small issues in your gameplay, you're missing the macro bigger picture of what your problems are. If you switch your thinking from micro issues to macro issues, you're gonna see these glaring issues in your gameplay, like I mentioned when you watch your games back. So when you mess up in a round, or you end up losing a round because of a small thing like you were holding a bad angle, the chances are it's something much bigger than that that led up to that point that got you in that position to lose. So instead of focusing in on these tiny issues that you have right before you die, try to go bigger scale with it. Look at the events that led up to you being in that position or making that bad play, and try to fix those issues earlier on in the round. Getting this macro mindset and just seeing bigger picture is definitely going to help you rank up. I hope these 10 tips will help you get good at R6 as fast as you possibly can. If you have any other tips that you can give to the rest of the people watching this video, let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to check them out, see what you guys think, and maybe I'll agree, maybe I won't.